Hey everybody, thank you. Sorry, we're just running a couple of minutes late getting started there. And I'm so excited to be here on our third training series in the UPswing Training series for health coaches today. I'm very excited to see so many of you here for the third week. It really speaks volumes to me of your investment in your health coaching business and in wanting to take those next steps forward. For those of you who might just be joining us today, my name is Amanda Daly and I'm a business mentor for health coaches. Last week, in fact the first week, the first training series, I shared a lot about my story of growing my health coaching business. So if you haven't already watched that training, you can watch last week's or the first week's at amandajdaily.com/upswingts is actually the link there. Maybe Joe could just put that link in there for anyone who's missed the past trainings. That's where you can go. And I've put, yeah, there's like my full story in there. I do just want to, before we get into it today, just acknowledge, I know last week, and I think at the beginning of this video, there might just be a little bit of buffering before the video starts getting clear. I'm not quite sure why that's happening, but rest assured, I'm sure it'll be like last week in a minute or two in, it'll be completely clear. So no need to panic. In brief then, my story, because I think you can go back and hear the whole story. But for those of you who are just joining us, there was a real period of great frustration for me when I first started my health coaching business. Far too much time wasted, to be honest, like staring at the ceiling, wishing for clients. I would do anything to get clients if only I knew how. And, you know, I did then go on and grow my health coaching business to a consistent $5,000 a month, which I shared on that story. And then last week as well, in the Wealth Consciousness or Getting Your Wealthy Healthy second training series, I shared how I have taken that coaching business far and beyond that financially. So along that path, my business, my health coaching business, very naturally morphed into mentoring health coaches as more and more health coaches were coming to me first to clear up their own health, which is, I think, why many of us got into health coaching to start with, wanting to, you know, work on our own health as well as help others. And, you know, I really bringing in a lot of the experience that I had in the marketing and advertising world. I'd worked on some of the world's very top brands, including a lot of charities, so I knew both spectrums. And this proved to be a very missing piece in the health coaching world. So through my own clients, one thing led to the next, and until my business is today, which is business and wealth consciousness training for health coaches. And so I've trained extensively in wealth consciousness, combining the business techniques, etc. And, you know, part of my story that I shared last week is that I've then gone on to grow my coaching business up and beyond $50,000 some months, not every month. And you'll hear me talk about that more today in coaching, but fairly consistently up around that level now. And I feel so super grateful to have this opportunity to share with the health coaching community all that I've learned on my path so far, as I know that this info, like that I've discovered and that I've applied to myself and now with my coaching clients, really can create such a ripple effect in the health of the world once we as health coaches really get our businesses up and thriving. Like, it really is up to us as health coaches to choose to make this new profession work. The shift that's needed in the world's health, it's not all up to us, but it can certainly be really shifted by us choosing to make a change and choosing to step up and collectively as health coaches show up, educate, and, you know, get this message out there. And there really aren't too many health coaches showing how it's been done so far, which, you know, like I said, this is a new profession. And this can leave us in the lurch at just kind of no modeling, like not really knowing what to do. How do you really get clients? How do you really make money? And the business training that's received at most health coaching schools, I mean, they vary. Some there's none, and some is very light on and not necessarily the most kind of inspiring way to look at business and marketing. So I hope that the previous few weeks' trainings have already started to support you on this path and start to see, that there's more beyond the health coaching initial training that you can get into and continue your journey to really start getting your health coaching business up and running. One of the other things that we've explored in previous weeks is that, or one thing that's holding health coaches back, is playing small, like far too much. Fear of selling, fear of, is it possible for me to make money, or fear, is it possible for me? Fear to charge what health coaching is worth. And we're going to go into a lot of these fears today, because behind these fears are not only our own issues of self-worth or deserving, which come to the surface really quickly when we put ourselves out into the world in a bigger way. And even more so, like we talked about last week, our beliefs around money, which until now we didn't even know that we could perhaps look at, or that perhaps things could be different than what we thought. So today we're going to dive in deep and start to shift some of these old beliefs right here on the call, so that today is the day that you take action and start making your health coaching business the success it's meant to be. I really don't believe that anyone here has been led to a health coaching program only to see that dream or that deeper purpose that you know is there, like thrown on the sidewalk due to lack of training or due to frustration of not knowing how to get clients. And I know that you're not one to give up easily on your dream or on your drive to change the world in this way. I know, and all of you are on this call today, I know, are the truly committed ones. You're the ones who have lapped up the new information in the last few weeks. You're the ones who have been in the Facebook groups, cheering each other on, asking more questions like, what's next? That's the mentality that's needed to really, like we talked about the other day, get out of victim mode. And we're not pointing fingers at, well, I didn't get told this, or I didn't, learn this from my training or whatever, but what's next? What else can I do? And I know that those of you on the call today are those people. You know that there's more to the picture, and you know that there is info now that can help you go further and reach those dreams. So one thing I touched on last week in the Wealth Consciousness call was that desires are planted in us for a reason. Desires are who we are. They're meant to be experienced. And if you have a desire to be a health coach, to create your own freedom lifestyle, and to be of service to people in the process, truly, you should really listen to that desire and take massive action to bring that into fruition. Life's, in my opinion, way too short to live any other way. And playing small, which we're going to talk about more today, is in fact not only harming your own bank balance. We talked last week that no one's healthy on all levels when they're struggling financially or full of stress as a result. But playing small when you play the whole tape through is actually having a detriment on the world's health, because we're not getting our messages out there as health coaches due to these fears. We have solutions. We do have knowledge. We have training. And really, who are we to play small and hold this back from those who are out there who really need it? We've talked in the last two trainings about how smart marketing, from an authentic place, can be used to get others excited about getting healthy, in the same way that, like my old clients such as Coca-Cola, would get people excited about drinking toxins. And then, it's our job to get people excited about getting healthy now. And then last week we talked about the link between health and wealth, including your fears of selling and charging for your services. And, the truth is, I've been reminded of this several times again this week, no one is currently Googling for a health coach. In fact, most of the world has never even heard of a health coach. So without our education, why on earth would anyone want to work with one? I know it's easy to be in the circle and feel like every second person is a health coach and where's my spot, and we're going to talk about that today too. But most of the world doesn't yet understand the role of a health coach, and this influences people not understanding why they would sign up with you, but also what we're going to look at today is sometimes this influences our fear of what we should actually be putting out, again, without enough modeling. Are we trying to be a doctor? Are we trying to be a nutritionist? And understanding what is a health coach for ourselves first, valuing that to help others then value and understand that too. So it's certainly not the time to give up. No one has yet educated the larger world properly on why they should value their health and showing them the impact it will truly have when they get healthy. That, I believe, is the job of a health coach. And that's our job collectively as a group, to spread that message wide and get others excited by it. So why are we collectively holding back? From working with over 40 private clients this year to build their health coaching businesses, and from my daily conversations like on my large social media communities, etc., I know for sure that the key reasons we are holding back is due to our limiting beliefs, or more accurately, due to our fears. And from everyone I've spoken and worked with so far, I've not yet met one health coach who didn't start out in some arena feeling like a fraud. I've not met one health coach who truly felt like an expert when they started. And I've not yet met one health coach who wasn't nervous to sell their services to start with. And I admit it would be a lot easier if this profession had been around long enough for us to know and believe what's possible. And that's just not the case. And the reason for that is because we are the leaders in the health coaching arena. We're supposed to work it out, and we're supposed to create the shift ourselves. And, you know, I know for sure that a business of this nature is a direct reflection of our internal self. You know, they often say, and it's so true, that the best personal development journey on earth is to run your own business. And it's certainly the case with coaching. So really, the place to start working on your business is within. And that starts at facing and deciding to let go of many of these fears. So today then, I am really excited and proud to present the content of my third training series, because we're going to dive right in and start to remove these as a group. And there's something about working collectively as a group that when we let go of these, when we see what other people are going through, and just even the energy of having everybody working on this at once, will have a much bigger ripple effect than even if you were to do this alone. So it's going to be a little bit of an interactive session today. So what I'd love you to start doing is popping some of your key fears into the chat box right now. Do you feel like a fraud? Do you feel like you don't know enough? Do you worry you won't be able to help your clients? A really common one, like, do you worry you won't have the right answers? Or other common ones I hear are, I don't look skinny enough yet. I don't look pretty enough. I'm not fit enough. I'm still overweight. I'm still struggling. Let's get these thoughts out in the open now. Let's just air them and see what we have. And just put them in the chat box, and we'll just give that a few minutes to come through, and then I'll start working with you. And today's training series, just like the others, is just for you. The more you put in here, the more you're going to get out of it. And same as the other trainings, I have allowed plenty of time at the end to answer your own personal questions about your health coaching business. And I've also got some for those of you who have emailed me during the week who wanted me to answer them on today's call. The main reason that I offered this extended 3-part training series is really to connect with you all and to support you as best as I can. And I want to hear about these problems. I want to hear about the struggles. And just as I've said on previous weeks, I'd really love to hear the celebrations as well. The private Facebook group that I have for my VIP one-on-one clients, I've brought them, I think I shared that a few weeks ago, I've brought them together collectively in like their own little internal group, and there's an absolute strict policy there that we only share wins and celebrations. And that is just amazing how that ripple effect, even within that small group, has shifted people to know what's possible and to celebrate each other as women and coaches. And so I really would love and encourage anyone who's sitting there now with a win from this week, anything Perhaps even it's a mindset or something you did differently this week or the week before, especially if it's something that's come from the training series. I would really, really love to hear that from you in the chat box at the end. So right now we're putting in the chat box fears, but hold your questions and celebrations, and we're going to have a good time to celebrate those at the end. What else? Yes, I've got the Q&As there for those of you who have emailed me. And for those of you who have been asking about working with me on your own business, I'm finally very excitedly going to be able to share with you all the information for my new mastermind program. In fact, this hasn't been released anywhere else yet, as the official launch will actually be Monday. So by being on today's call and having stayed part of the entire training series, you will get priority access to hear about that at the end if you desire ongoing support in your health coaching business. So hold tight for that. As we go through the training, I encourage you to stay really active. So there's going to be lots of writing notes. There's actually going to be a worksheet for us all to work through today. And, you know, any questions, celebrations, etc., hold them to the side, and we'll do that at the end. My assistant Joanna's on the call with us again today, so I will be checking the chat box a little bit more than normal because it's interaction. But if there's anything particularly for her that, you know, doesn't need to distract me on the call, I'd be grateful if that was directed at her. So let me check what's happening. What have we got? All right, maybe I should stop and read them in the right order. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to read, we're not going to like coach through all of these today, but I'm going to read some of, your fears, and let's just air them and see in yourself, are these fears that you have too. It's often interesting, we can feel like a fear is our own, but when you realize that other people are all having the same thing, it's really helpful to see it's not personal, it is just the fear. So let's read some of these questions. Okay. People are worried about managing their time and organization. People are worried about where can they get clients and how do they get in with medical doctors. People are worried that they don't have professional photos. People are worried that how will they know what to do in each session. People are worried that they won't be able to create real change in their clients. People are worried about what if they can't really help them? What if they can't really transform their client's life? What if you can't prove to collaborate? Like, you know, you can't prove to collaborators that they should work with you. Or why should they work with you over someone qualified in nutrition or a dietitian, that kind of thing. Clients feeling like they did it and you didn't do anything. You know, answers during a live workshop. What if you can't help someone who's seriously ill? This is the big one. What if you don't think your own diet is good enough and there's definitely a fraud piece in that, like, you know, you feel like mine's not good enough, who am I to be telling someone else? What if you don't follow through yourself, so you know the information to tell others, but you don't know, you know in yourself that you're not doing that? Again, how do you teach others and coach others when you're still struggling with your own weight or your own health issues? there's a lot of fears around how do I organize my schedule and my business, like how do I run a business as well as my life. And, I love this one. The fear is that I can't come up with a name for my business. The biggest, actually, I don't know if they're fears, but the biggest blocks, I'm going to call them, that I see my clients come up with, especially at the beginning, is I don't have the right name. I don't have the right tagline. I don't have the right font or the right color. My website doesn't look good enough. Therefore, I can't get clients. And I'm sure when I say that, you can see, like, that's not true. These things normally come up to block a deeper fear that's behind it. Feeling you don't look the part of a health coach, feeling you don't have your life all together yet, feeling you won't have answers to more nutritional based, like, deeper questions, feeling you don't know how to market. You can see, like, feeling like you don't know how to find who you want to work with, fear that you can't communicate, clearly enough, or that's a big one, actually, feeling like, how do I articulate what I am as a health coach? Worried that you're coming across as too sally, like as in selling. We talked about the sleazy salesman in the previous conversation. Worried about setting up in a new suburb. Nice to see someone's moving near me. These are, like, keep them coming. But as you can see, I imagine that many of you are seeing these are the same beliefs and same fears. And as much as I truly would love to sit here and work through and answer my perspective on all of those, because many of them I could talk to a lot, the point of today really is, like, seeing that we all have these same fears. And if collectively we've all got these fears, like, how are we going to move forward? And I hope you can see when you see them in other people that actually, why are you worried about that? You could still get a client, or, everyone has their own version. Other worries in here about how to market yourself, how to get started without a lot of money. That all, very natural fears. So we're going to dive into reframing a couple of these today on an individual basis. And there's a handout that I've prepared for you to work along with. Joanna's going to put that in that link in the chat box now, so you can download the PDF. Or if you can't access it, no stress, I'm going to talk through it anyway, and you can just follow along. While you get those coming, I want to quickly talk through three main areas or three main reasons that I believe health coaches feel like a fraud or are fearful when they start out. And I think these will cover quite a lot of those fears. Number one, I do believe, is not feeling like an expert. This often comes from the fact that our coaching services are what I call invisible. They're not a tangible product. It's not like, here's a bag of chips for $2. We're simply not used to selling ourselves. And we probably haven't even realized, but when it really comes down to it, as a coach, we're selling ourselves. And yet as coaches, we all have lives, like, full of expertise. In fact, the only thing you can truly be an expert on is what you have experienced. And so why why torture yourself trying to coach on something else, in my opinion? We all have strengths, we all have assets that are hugely valuable to anyone in life who's one or two steps behind us on the same path. And if we stay humble and stay true, but equally choose to show up as the expert and value what we are an expert at, then others will respect and value us too. And again, like I said before, it's always an internal game. You have to respect and value the things you are good at before you'll be confident enough to go out there and expect others to do the same. Basically, like, I would love you today to decide to be an expert in something. This is never going to be handed to you on a plate. Like, nobody is just going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, can you be an expert in weight loss, or can you be an expert in this? No one's going to come knocking on the door and say, would you like to be on the radio show or on a TV show and be an expert on this? You have to decide yourself first. And I almost, like, dare you, like, challenge you, to choose to be an expert in one set area and stick with that even for the next 90 days. Start acting as if that's true. Start acting as if I am an expert in. I don't necessarily think it's like, well, you can choose anything, but choose something that you already believe in. If you're really honest, there are areas that you have mastered. I don't believe that you would even be drawn to coaching if there weren't certain areas of your life or challenges that you'd overcome and come out the other end. And so choosing an area to be an expert can be one way to overcome like freaking out about, oh, I'm not good enough or I'm not expert enough. A real common belief that a few people put in the box, and I've also had multiple questions on this over the week, is this feeling of not being fit enough, skinny enough, beautiful enough to be a health coach. The truth is that people connect with people. They want to know about you, they want to know about your life, and they want to see you walking your talk. And that doesn't mean you have to be a supermodel. In fact, in my experience, a lot of there's different, ways that people market, but sometimes when people market with that too perfect look, and I'm not even saying that's not real for them, but sometimes that freaks people out because they instantly think it's not attainable for them. People want real life. We've moved on from those days where it's all about supermodels, etc. You can even see that in social media. People just love following people. And they want to be inspired. And often the most inspiring coaches are those who are willing to share their true battles, along with the way they choose to make better decisions each and every day. This is a key reason why I work with my clients on designing their own unique programs for both of these points, actually. Because if you don't believe in what you're teaching, like if you've just got a blanket curriculum and you haven't mastered areas of that in your life, sometimes that just simply means you're not going to be confident to coach on that. I'm not saying that you never can. I'm just saying that, why make it hard? Why not choose to focus on areas that you are good at and help people with that? I'll try and give you an example of really what I'm saying here. Like one of my clients, she teaches mums, and she didn't particularly feel on top of her weight. She didn't particularly feel on top of even like her stress levels, really, like all these things, like she wanted more time for her business, very normal things for mums. And the thing she hung her hat on all the time was her morning routines. And she kept saying over and over again, like, this is much more important than weight loss, etc. And then when she started coaching, she started telling me like, oh yeah, their morning routines, they're raving about them, but they haven't lost weight. And she was jumping to something that she wasn't necessarily an expert on, and they hadn't even come to her for that. But the mind goes back to the basics of, again, what we've seen, and we think we have to be that kind of coach. When she came back and refined her programs, and this was actually through getting feedback from those current clients, she came back and she realized that all she needed to coach on was these morning routines for mums. And it's amazing, like the results that her clients have been getting when she's helped them establish that one thing for them every single morning that she was already like, that was the piece she had mastered. And they love learning it from her. And actually, we're going to talk in a moment about, really coaching versus teaching anyway, and you'll see how that started to play through for her. Sometimes there's a fine line. Sometimes you need to look at the curriculum you have learned in whatever training you did and realize that you know so much more than someone across the road who could be struggling and has never heard of these things. Other times you do want to master what you're teaching first. Like, for example, I would never have been able to teach wealth consciousness and advanced online business if I hadn't already mastered that to some degree myself. And then at the same time, a lot of mastery always comes in the coaching. And when I look at, with my own clients, how much the curriculum's unfolded and the depth when I've seen that these things, how it applies to woman after woman after woman, most of the time I see with my own clients that their confidence comes once they're in the game. once they're coaching and being willing to be a beginner for those first couple of times, it's amazing once you start to see the results in your clients that you start to build that confidence yourself. That confidence and expert status is just never going to be given to you before you get in the game. One key area that I do work with clients, both one-on-one and definitely in the upcoming mastermind program, is on discovering your ideal target market. And this to me is absolutely key to discover who you are perfectly designed to serve and then only choosing to work with them. I don't think any thriving health coaching business misses the step of really understanding their target market. It's a complete game changer. And one of my clients, she said to me the other day, she's like, I've heard this target market thing over and over again. You know, she said, I heard it in my health coaching. I heard it in an online business course I did. I heard it, I thought I got it, etc. But when we did this deeper work with her to really understand, like, who's she meant to serve? What are your strengths? Who do you enjoy working with? And took out all the stress of the areas that she just wasn't meant to be working on, then, like, she just said to me, like, the penny dropped. She's like, target market. You know, like, she said everything shifted. Once she realized that her whole life had been perfectly set up to be strong in some areas, and for her that was actually to be health coaching nurses, her whole business up-leveled in literally 2 weeks. I'm talking like brand new programs, brand new like website, photo shoot, everything. Just, you know, these things, I don't have the right photos and I don't have the right taglines. Once she knew who she was serving and she knew what needed to be created for them, for her to be of service to them, and she knew that her strengths were what they needed, it was just like bang. And I see that over and over again. So tailoring your target market, tailoring your programs, and playing to your strengths will largely help this feeling of not being expert enough in everything. The second thing, just you know, a reminder again, get that sheet from the link here if you can. And let me just check that people are getting that. Yep, cool. So just 2 more points I want to talk about. I think that a lot of these fears that I saw come up in the chat box just now, as well as what I see every day, is that we forget the definition of a health coach. And even here in Australia recently, there's been some negative press around health coaches, whereby nutritionists, dietitians, etc. are attacking the qualification. And this truly comes from a lack of understanding the role of a health coach. But equally, I think that a lot of health coaches forget this definition as well. Like, on the surface, they say, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist. But when it comes down to it, I think a lot of health coaches are trying to be. And trying to have answers for someone who has cancer or is medically diagnosed in some way is not only going to be extremely stressful for our health coach, but in some cases it can also be irresponsible. So it comes back to sticking to what we know as a health coach. We've had, like, depending on what training you did, maybe 3 months, maybe a year or more of training, owning the value of that. And again, largely I think this is because we haven't had this modeled. And it's our job as leaders to start doing this and start valuing this is what a health coach is versus a nutritionist or a doctor, etc., and start to educate people on that. One of the key points on that is that the role of a health coach is to coach. And this means to support your clients, to help them find answers for themselves, to hold them accountable. Yes, to educate on the basics of health, but more importantly, to support in the areas as well of, like, primary food. What else is really going on? The biggest gift that you can give your client is in listening, holding space, mirroring, holding accountable, and helping them discover their own breakthroughs. And if needed, referrals, or if needed, sending out to support. I loved that so many of you are asking, like, how do I get in with doctors, etc., because the truth is, again, educating a doctor on how you complement them. You're not trying to be the doctor. You're not trying to be the nutritionist. You hold a very special part and a nurturing part in the process for a client, which is a far different role to someone in that role. So for us to remember that these are the important skills of a coach, and the more you get in the game and the more you start coaching and not trying to solve or not trying to heal for the client, to kind of exaggerate sometimes, I say, we're not God. We can't control the outcome of a client, but we can give the information that we've been trained on, and more importantly, we can give support, accountability, action plans. There's obviously beyond that, but not forgetting these basics. In fact, so many people worry about being well prepared for a session, like a coaching session, but in many cases, I'd almost argue that a good coach wouldn't be prepared, because a good coach turns up, truly listens, truly hears what the client needs in that moment, and then supports them from the gifts, from the training, etc. When I talk to my own clients about this, I know that people are quick to say, but someone's paying me, I need to give them education or a strict plan, or, and yes, we do educate, and yes, we do give things, but we don't have to be the healer, and we don't have to, like I say, we're not playing God here, we're helping. The biggest results, even, I don't know how many of you have worked with your own coach, it's a really valuable skill to do so as a coach, to understand what it's like to receive. Me personally, when I get my coaching, I don't want to be told how my life should be. I want to discover that. I want to discover my answers. And so there's a lot of magic in coaching that I think isn't understood or is forgotten easily. And this can make us feel like a fraud, or especially if we don't sell it in the truth of what it is to start with. One of the things I'm going to tell you about the mastermind program that I'm going to be running a little bit later on today's call, but I have got an expert coming in on that to really go through advanced coaching skills, because I think it's the strengthening in coaching, and if not reminding in coaching, is one of the key areas that I see people over and over feeling like they don't know enough. But the truth is they're just not necessarily going into a coaching session in the right mindset to start with. So most of the time, overall, those are just a few things I want to talk about. Most of the time, not feeling like an expert or not feeling enough is simply a lack of giving it a go and allowing yourself to be a beginner. My clients always seem surprised to see how much more confident they are once they've coached their first few clients. And this is one of the reasons that last week I said that for some people, doing their first clients for free can be a good idea, because the confidence boost in your coaching ability is huge. So then, let's look at that worksheet. Let me just grab it. I want everybody, just for the sake of today, to choose one limiting belief or fearful belief that you either identified before in the chat box, or that you perhaps have seen, like me just talking just here. Choose one limiting belief. It might be, I don't know enough, or it might be, I won't know what to say when a client asks me a hard question. Again, the fear of being expert enough. If you don't know enough from the health coaching, you're not supposed to know more. So if they ask you something that's beyond, it's fine to say, that's beyond what I've been trained in as a health coach. I'm certainly open to helping you find a referral on that. That is just so much like relaxing into what a coach is and what your training is, instead of trying to be something that you're not. It's just so much, the stress that people put on themselves in that way is crazy. So I want everyone to choose. I hope you've all got the worksheet, but I'm going to quickly kind of, I'll see if I can hold it up. The first one is, I've called it what. This is just a quick little worksheet for today. And I want you to write, what do you believe to be true? What is the belief that you're telling yourself is true? I don't know enough. I'm not skinny enough. I wasn't taught enough. I'll never get clients. I don't have enough money to get photos. All these kind of things. Just choose one. For the sake of today, what's one belief that you believe to be true? And as you write that, I want you to see if you can slightly detach and see that it is just a belief. Once you've got it on paper, see that it's a belief. That's what it is. And then we'll move on to the next question, or box if you've got the worksheet. For those of you who don't have the worksheet, it does look like this, but you don't really need it. I will just read the questions. The next one is when. I just want you to take a moment. If need be, you might even shut your eyes or take a deep breath and just check, is there something that might have happened in the past that first created that belief? When has this happened before that made you know, I don't know what to say? Or when has this ever happened that actually you weren't good enough, or when, just check in. There might not be for everybody. This is just one process. But let's put it down if there's something that happened in the past to create that belief. And if you don't know, feel free to make it up for today's session. Sometimes it can be surprising. What if you did know? And then after that is proof. What evidence do you have that this is true? So I'm not skinny enough to be a health coach could be the first one. What happened in the past to create this belief? Someone laughed at me because they said, you're not healthy, how could you teach health? And what evidence do you have that this is true? What evidence do you have that the belief is true? What evidence do you have, for example, that being overweight means you can't health coach or means no one will pay you? Now that you've got those first three, what you believe, what might have happened in the past to create it, and what evidence you have, we can all find evidence. What evidence do you have to stand up for and say, yes, this belief is true? You'll have it. If you didn't have evidence, then, or kind of like a fight for it, then it wouldn't still be here. And at this point, I just want to point something out, that you weren't born with this belief. In fact, it probably is what happened in the past that created that belief. It might be what happened in the past might be that you saw it happen with your parents, or that you overheard someone say something. Someone told you that you're not allowed to buy gold earrings. I don't know. Like, what happened in the past created that belief for you, whether or not you know exactly what that was. And now you've made evidence over and over, because your thought patterns create the reality. Now you've made evidence that it's true. But I want to point out that before this belief started, it was not true. And I want you to see if you can get leverage on that. Like, if you can feel the truth that once upon a time before that belief came in, that wasn't true. And see if you can feel into that. See if you can start to feel that that belief is almost like a separate entity that is, it's not really you. It wasn't there when you were born. It came along at some stage. And because of the thought pattern, it is now creating this proof. What if you could believe something? The ego loves it when I say this. It'll be going crazy. Don't be stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. What if you could? Let's just play with it for today. What if you could believe something else instead? What's a new belief? The best way to do this is flip it around. So I don't believe that I can health coach because I'm not skinny enough. What if you could change it and say, actually, people love to work with someone who's not perfect, who doesn't look perfect, because it doesn't intimidate them, which is true, by the way. Excellent. So then, I want you just to play it through. I know it's not here, but play the tape through. If that was the new belief, what results might you get if the new belief was true? Can you see if life might play out differently if that belief could be true or was true from now on? Just like once in the past you picked up the old belief and life started to prove it and you started to see results, yep, see, this belief is right. The new belief equally could create a different outcome. So just write down or just visualize into that. Can you play it through and see how life could be different if you actually had that new belief instead of the old one? And seeing then that the belief was never you and it created one outcome and that you could actually have a new belief, there's a decision to be made now. And a decision is always yours. In fact, in Think and Grow, Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite wealth consciousness books, one of the key points to wealth, and therefore by definition a wealth of expansion of who you are as a human, one of the key points to receiving wealth is making a decision. And you have that power at any moment, including right now. And you can choose right now. It's always your choice, but you are able to choose a different belief. And if you're willing to do that and commit to letting go of the old one and choosing to believe the new one, then I would love you to write that down now. And take that commitment for yourself. I now choose to. And the truth is, this choice is all we ever have. It's always a choice, and our old beliefs can hang on and try struggle like crazy, but nobody can do that for you. Nobody can ever make that decision to change for you. You always have that decision point yourself. So collectively, I know that there's many of us on the call today, and to know even if a slither of those old beliefs was shifted, or even if it opened your mind to, well, maybe it could happen one day, that has created a shift, and that is where the ripple effect starts, when you start to work on the internal fears and beliefs, step by step, small piece by small piece. And I do just want to acknowledge, thank you for those who have been popping some positive outcomes and celebrations already in the chat box. It's really exciting to see. Thank you. So, to really start to wrap up, it's largely our old conditioning and beliefs that are stopping us from receiving anything we desire via your job or anything. And along with a real drive and passion to create change and having the business structures to do so. I really hope that today's training has started to expand your mind into some new possibilities, and also from the new conversations that we've brought in the previous weeks to start to learn to enjoy marketing and to get your wealth healthy. And, I wanted to kind of wrap up on kind of a conclusion for the 3 weeks. I've absolutely loved our 3 weeks together. Clearly there is so much we could cover and go into. This is part of the reason why I don't normally open the chat box to the end. The minute I start seeing your fears and beliefs in there, I just want to go into all of them. It really actually breaks my heart that we have to work through these first to be able to get out to the health coaching world, but it is part of our journey. And working through our own internal beliefs in this way is part of the journey that all coaches that I know who are doing well in their business, I don't know anyone who can avoid that. And the unfortunate truth is that right now most health coaches are struggling to get their business up and running. They're struggling to get clients, they're struggling to make money, and they're giving up on their dreams of a freedom lifestyle. And I can assure you that making money and living the lifestyle you desire as a health coach is completely possible for you, just as it is for me, just as it is for my clients now, and for many of my peers. When there is so much more to learn about growing a health coaching business, you can choose to play small and give up on your dreams, give up on helping others, give up on, changing the way the world values health, or you can choose to take action and choose to never take no for an answer. Choose to make it happen no matter what. I would be completely lying to sit here and tell you that will be easy, mainly because of the stuff we work through today. Like, it's the beliefs and overcoming those, but it's a choice, and we need to, if we're really driven in this way, choose to step up collectively and make this happen. If you have that level of commitment and tenacity for health coaching, then I think you probably do, because that's why you're on the third call today. You haven't given up. Oh, I can't do that. You're like, what's next? What's next? And you couldn't be in a better place. Those are the people I get real results working with, the absolute go-getters. And the 3 topics we've covered in our training are the 3 key areas that have allowed me to grow my business from struggling, as I shared in that first video, and trust me, I really, really was, to now having my coaching business in the multiple 6 figures a year. And those 3 key things that I wanted to recap are: you must market and sell authentically and with your soul to your dream client. You must get your wealthy healthy, as I call it, your wealth healthy. You've got to work on your money beliefs and mindset. And then you must constantly work on your own internal beliefs and thought patterns. And the 4th one, which isn't an area, but I would like to make a nod at for what we have done in the training series, is really to surround yourself with like-minded people. I'd almost say it's near impossible. It's like swimming in the wrong pond, like the dirty water, to really make these shifts forward in what's possible and understanding that there's another way from how we used to believe, especially in the money area. It's really, really important to surround yourself with people who are willing to think that way too, or people who are already thinking that way. And same with the business pieces. Sometimes we can get so freaked out by some of these systems and technology, and then you see someone else do it, and it's like, oh, I see, that makes sense. So I've honed these 3 areas over and over again, not only in my own life, because it's an ongoing practice, but also with my private clients to get their own health coaching businesses up and thriving as well. And I'm continuing to advance these 3 areas. To me, they are the 3 key areas. They expand much further. They're the 3 areas that all need to be in a row to have a thriving health coaching business. So I have created a brand new mastermind program for health coaches for those of you who are really ready to dive deeper now and apply what we've covered to your own business to really start making a big difference in the world, and for yourself to truly start living the freedom lifestyle that you desire with the financial income to match. So I'm going to take Q&As. We've got lots of time for Q&A today. I made sure there was more time left for that today than the other weeks. And so I'm going to stay online until all your personal questions have been answered on any of the topics from those 3 weeks. And I encourage you to start getting those questions ready. Like I said before, I would love it if we can have some celebrations as well, especially if there's anything that you've applied from our training, no matter how small. And I'm going to answer those in a minute. And I love, thank you guys. I didn't even have to prompt that. See, this is what I mean. You guys on the call are the go-getters, right? I know it. And I didn't even have to say, can you put it in the chat box? You're all sharing your beliefs. And, this is the mindset. I've noticed it over my time coaching people. When I'm a coach or a mentor for someone, I'm not your boss. It's not to check in with me every day. What do I do next? What do I do next? You are the businesswoman. And I always say to people hiring me as their mentor that you're hiring me on your team as an expert, not the other way around. You're in the driver's seat. You're in control. And so thank you, because that just really reminds me, of the depth, I think, and the tenacity of this group as really driven health coaches. I love it. So get your questions coming. I think there's normally a bit of a delay on Webinar Jam, which is the software I use. So I'll use this time then to go into and tell you about the mastermind, and then we'll go into your question and answers. So, Upswing Mastermind. Yes, I had to call it Upswing after the webinars. I'm a bit addicted to the name at the moment. It's a 6-month intimate mastermind experience to develop business success and wealth consciousness for driven health coaches. As many of you know, I've been fully booked for one-on-one mentoring for a while now, and this has given me the wonderful opportunity, like I've just loved it, of creating the dream program that I truly wish had existed when I started health coaching. And this is why I've created Upswing Mastermind. It's an intimate experience for an elite small group of health coaches who are truly dedicated to making $5,000 a month or more and beyond, and to really creating great change in the world as a result. And like I said before, you'll learn this a lot if we work together. Like, it's actually true dedication to your freedom lifestyle and to living your dreams. So I've had quite a few questions during the week about what is a mastermind, so I'll kind of share why I've chosen to do an intimate mastermind here. You know, this really is the group to be in if you want to grow your business in a supported way, surrounded by other women who are going to all be pushing each other forward. My own greatest breakthroughs in my business came not only when I was working with a mentor who was really playing like a big game, you know, someone steps ahead of me, and I knew that she had created that for herself. And that gave me permission to see, well, if she can do it, I can do it. But ultimately, my biggest breakthroughs actually came when I found an awesome tribe of like-minded women in a mastermind. And like, money alone just can't buy the energy that comes from surrounding yourself with people all on a similar mission. You have to be surrounded by other women or you know, men who have big dreams and energy and motivation that it takes. It's like everyone pushes everyone's energy forward. It gives people permission. When I first started making a lot more money in my business, it was not even in my consciousness that I could have done that until I saw someone else in my mastermind do it. And then 1 month later, like, I'd done it too. A mastermind, again, you know, one of the greatest wealth consciousness books talks about a mastermind. And a mastermind is generally like a group of people coming together with different strengths, different abilities, different motivating factors, all coming together for one cause to push that forward. And, you know, this is similar to that, but beyond, honestly. You know, especially as coaches, someone asks a question during a mastermind call, and I'll tell you in a minute about what I mean by call, is that you didn't even know you had that question. Someone else answers it, they get their breakthrough, and that becomes your breakthrough. When you're around a group of women, all of their breakthroughs become yours. And there is something about collective energy when there's a group of people with one intention to going for it and up-leveling that just has like a tenfold effect. The emphasis on this group mastermind is absolutely on creation, not competition. So there is no need to feel, because there is no one else like you and there is no other exact target market like yours. From my perspective, you will never feel that there's competition. You will always feel supported, both by me and your fellow driven health coaches every step of the way. I'll only allow women, this is going to be by application only, this group who have positive energy and really want to help others in the group go forward as well as themselves. Not a large group program. It's not an online e-course. This is live, constant interaction and accountability with me and a small group of like-minded coaches. So, what the Upswing Mastermind will be structured at. It's 6 months, which will have weekly group calls, which include a teaching segment, like an actual curriculum from me every week on business strategies, techniques, a lot of them not taught anywhere else because they're learnt from both my experience on the big corporate brands as well as the advanced online marketing that I've brought more into what's specifically needed for health coaches. So each weekly group call will have a set teaching, privately tutored by me live. And then after that, we go into specific live laser coaching for everybody on that call. And like, we go into your specific challenges. We're going to handle exactly what's holding you back so that you can keep moving on with this highest level of support. There's also going to be, like, you'll get your chance for personal feedback on where you're at. Like I said, you'll get unexpected breakthroughs watching the other people be laser coached. And you'll even get the opportunity to like learn advanced coaching skills just by watching me doing that each week. In addition to that, there's also going to be monthly group calls from industry experts. This is the piece last week. I was like, oh, it's almost there. I can't quite tell you all. I have 4 of the 6 industry guest experts locked in, 2 of whom I'm still waiting just on a few things with. So they won't be announced for probably another few days, but you will get other guest experts leading these calls as well, and you'll have the chance to get personal feedback from them as well. There's going to be a monthly workbook, so each month there'll be a set topic which will expand on our weekly teachings, on our coaching, and enable you to dive even deeper into the information. That will include a lot of my private templates, coaching worksheets, basically everything that you need to really, really make this business happen now. You've also got access to my support teams, and you've got a private Facebook forum to interact with your mastermind sisters 24/7. I will also be offering extended office hours, which means that there'll be set times during the week where I will come in to the Facebook page, into the Facebook forum, and be there specifically for your Q&A live in the Facebook group. So I could talk forever on this. I'm so excited. Like, it's been a long time coming. This really is, it's everything I've done on my one-on-one with my clients, but much, much more, because you get the weekly teaching as well as the laser coaching and the support network. This truly is everything. Like, in hindsight, if I had had this program, like, you know, when I was starting, or even 6 months or a year in, this is what is needed. There's a lot of wealth consciousness in here. There's a lot of diving deep, and there's all the business structures. The full curriculum, because I could talk forever, you can go and read the details of this program. Like I said, it hasn't been officially launched yet. You're the first ones to see it. It's UPswingMastermind.com. So anyone who is feeling called to a higher level of support ongoing like this is welcome to go check that out. Upswing Mastermind is a great fit for you if you understand the importance of investing in yourself in the way you deserve, and you know that that accountability is really what's going to get things moving forward. It's for you if you don't want to, like I did, spend all that time on the sofa, like wasting time when you could be out there creating and actually supporting people. It's going to be step-by-step, like roadmaps, business, I don't like the word business plan, but there's lots of planning worksheets that I've pulled together in here. And honestly, like, someone emailed me during the week, actually no, it was in the Facebook page, sorry, about wasting time on so many cheaper online programs and never actually following through. I've put all of those together so that really for 6 months, this is what you would be working on. And it's all inclusive. Really, it's for people who are really determined to get this wealth piece under wraps as well. You know, tackling money blocks alone can be quite hard, and one of the best ways really is being surrounded by people and surrounded by a mentor who is at next when you say the clients don't have money, or people won't pay me this, or I'm bad if I ask, I don't know, there's so many, you know, on the money topics. It's really for people who are open to tackling that piece now. I think you'll know in yourself if that's something that you're ready to look at, because we will be going there. And quite simply, this is for people who are dedicated to making their 5K a month and more. And obviously the amount of clients, you know, that takes to do so. Really, is there anything else I need to tell you about that? You'll see the whole thing on UPswingMastermind.com. It's an intimate group program for truly driven health coaches who are ready to thrive now. Like I said, acceptance is by application only. And by being on this call, you get the opportunity to apply before the program is released to my wider community on Monday. So applications are actually, for everyone else, they're open for 10 days, but you've got 12 days. And I'll be reviewing all applications personally and very thoroughly, because I'm really, my intention is to bring together a group of women who I know are ready for this work, will fully support each other, and that I know that my teaching and techniques are going to, support your results. Like I said, this mastermind is built completely on creation, not competition. And the support system is not something I believe that you'll find anywhere else in the health coaching community, at least. And that's not just me by your side. That's both of my assistants, Joanna, who's on the call today, Natasha as well. They're both health coach trained, and having them constantly around us and supporting you, as well as your mastermind sisters, it can be very lonely, creating a business and being a leader in this way. And so it's the fullest level of support. Successful applicants will be invited to a complimentary discovery session with me so we can explore in detail if the program is the right fit for you. So any questions that you've got during the week in regards to whether the mastermind is right for you, feel free to email me directly. My email is amanda@amandajdaily.com, or feel free to ask anything on the Q&A today or on the Facebook group this week. So the investment for yourself and your business for the UPswing Mastermind is either one payment of $5,000 US, or I've set up a monthly payment plan, so you can pay $9.95 per month for each of those 6 months. Your application, by being on the call today, is actually going to give you priority. I will keep it in a separate pile, and if you sign up, direct from the call today, I'll mark that, and so I will give you priority if I feel you're a right fit to the discovery sessions, so that you can have an opportunity to take place first. And I think really that's it. The reason I really wanted to give you that opportunity, like just then to, tell you that you will be a priority, is I can't thank you enough for joining me over the last 3 weeks of the UPswing Training series for health coaches. It's been such an honor to be able to share with you all some of the key things that I've learned in growing my own coaching business. And of course, I know that the mastermind isn't for everyone. You're all at different stages. I hope that this training has created the biggest ripple effect, or maybe the start of a ripple effect. Don't worry, I love doing webinars. There'll be more for health coaches. And wherever you're at, I hope that has enabled you to start expanding the conversation and coming into a more positive, supportive way to grow your health coaching business. So let's keep this conversation alive. Let's keep this thriving over in the private Facebook group. Joe, maybe you could put the Facebook group link up for anyone who hasn't already joined us. I'm just loving connecting with you all in there during the weeks. It's such a joy for me to see other health coaches who are really committed to their game. And I'm really loving seeing how you're all encouraging each other in there. If there really is one thing I've learned in my business, that it's imperative to surround yourself with like-minded people like that. And our family and friends don't always get it. So whether it's through the Facebook group, whether it's through, even my main Facebook page or any ongoing webinars, or if the UPswing Mastermind is right for you, stay close to those who think the same way, because it's a real key in helping you move forward. And on that note, let me take all your questions that I can see are coming in. Okay. What is a discovery call? Jody, great question. So in regards to how I will conduct discovery calls, at least for my mastermind applications, is you're invited to apply if you think that you'd like to be part of the program. And I will review that to check, if it sounds like you're on the right page, and really reviewing your goals and see if there are goals that I feel the mastermind would help you achieve. And a discovery call will be where you and I get on the phone together, absolutely no obligation, but we genuinely just work through together. What are you wanting? What am I offering? Would the mastermind be the right fit for you? Is a group format the right fit for you? We just purely explore. I love discovery sessions. Though what I do instead of health histories, by the way, that I teach my clients and definitely cover in the mastermind. They're another way of just discovering if the program is the right fit for both people. So discovery calls are not open to everyone in this case. They're purely it'll be by invite only, but applications are open to everybody. And yeah, any questions at all in regards to that, like flick them through to me. Cool. Cool. A great question, Lisa. Is there a limit to the total number of spots? There is, and how do I explain it? I'm more interested in getting the right group of people. So yes, there is a limit, but right now, for example, if there's only 3 people who are the right fit, then I would rather go forward with 3 people. But there is an upper limit as well. Anything else? Any questions? It seems very quiet this week. The last few weeks I've had so many questions in the chat box. Any celebrations? Someone did email me a question actually before. They wanted to know if the mastermind would be exclusively for health coaches. In this case, I should have emailed you straight back, but I would invite you to, I don't know because I don't know what other business you're talking about. I invite you, if it feels like from what you've heard from me, and if when you read my page that talks all about the details of the UPswing Mastermind, if it feels like something that would be the right fit for you, then flick me an email back and we can discuss that. In general, it has been designed for health coaches. I do have private clients who are not health coaches. I've got 2 stylists actually, and I also have a number of people who are either life coaches or healers, or not necessarily strictly health coaches. But for the mastermind in particular, I am, it needs to be the right group, and so it would depend on what your particular industry was, whether it would be the right fit for you. Okay, another question here. I think we kind of covered this one actually. Someone emailed me to celebrate that they had just been more confidently having conversations about being a health coach, and someone had expressed interest in working with her, but that she was suffering, the potential client was suffering from seizures and also has slight brain damage and problems with vision, and she was really freaked out about the severity of the condition and how she could help. I hope that I've answered that already today. But really, you need to be very clear in the role of a health coach, and you may be able to work with the woman's doctor or alongside, but just being clear in yourself on what you would be supporting her on and communicating that is going to make it a successful health coaching relationship that you don't need to be scared of, as long as you just understand those boundaries, is my belief. Any other questions? Oh, okay. Here they're coming. Oh, sorry. Every time new questions come in, it pops the box away, so I can't read it. It's a complex answer. Thank you, Erin. Erin's asking about how to keep mindset positive, energy high vibe, understanding the importance of that, and it's true. Like she says her awareness of energy and language is really becoming big right now, and yeah, they are absolutely things that you take control of. And she's asking what I do. What are my tricks and practices for continually staying in high vibe? There's a twofold answer to that, I think. I mean, there's probably multiple layers, but Twofold. One is choosing to walk my talk, so choosing to turn up in a high vibration, like you say, focus on positive things, positive conversations. I do have practices of meditation and looking after myself and that side of things, you know, eating well, exercising, all those kind of things, which I actually believe health coaches are already lifting their vibration because we're so into that, like we love it. And then the second piece, Erin, is I continually work on my internal pieces, internal beliefs, letting go of beliefs which aren't mine or that are holding me back. You know, as you know, I've done a lot of work on that area in wealth, and the more you let go of that old stuff, like old things that hold you down are low vibrational. Even like friendships or relationships which are draining you are low vibrational. Having a moaning conversation about how hard things are is low vibrational. And no, I'm not pretending that that never happens by any means, you know, but the trick to staying high vibe, to me anyway, is one, choosing to walk your talk, and two, learning to let go of all those other internal things that might be holding you back from who you truly are. Okay, I've had a few questions like this actually about whether the mastermind program is right for people who are still in school or whether you're better to be closer to graduating. This is a question I get all the time with clients one-on-one, and honestly, there's not a blanket answer. It really depends kind of on where you're at and kind of how advanced isn't the right word. It's whether you're ready. You know, I've got clients who've worked with me from day one of their health coaching training, and by the time they hit that mark for their qualification, like they're up and running and going. I've got other clients who would have preferred to, you know, finish the training first and then move on to the business. I would say as a blanket answer, but it really is one-on-one, and I'm happy to chat to anyone individually about whether it's the right stage. As a blanket answer, I think kind of halfway through or a quarter through, like partway through, where you are soaking up and understanding your health coaching training, you're starting to understand like the basics through there, and you've got a grasp on your training there. That's probably the sweet spot, but certainly if you want to chat to me or flip me an email about where you're at, I'm happy to discuss that. The truth is, on the flip side of that, you see, is in some ways, why wait? Like, in some ways, there's so much to learn. The reason this mastermind is 6 months is because I don't know anybody who's built a thriving coaching business in less time than that. You know, there's things that I know now that have accelerated things for sure, but it takes time to learn how to run a business. It takes time to get things up and running. It takes time to understand, like, you know, how to sell to people, to get your confidence. The blocks that we've talked about, they don't all fall away overnight. You know, it's one by one. And so 6 months is the time. And someone asked me that last week. I tend to find, again, there's no blanket answer, but I tend to find it's around the 3-month mark for most clients, some earlier and, you know, some maybe more 4, when they start making that more consistent income. So I hope that helps. Great. I've got a question here about if I could teach more about discovery sessions and closing the deal. It's not something that I can do in 5 minutes, unfortunately, on this call. In the mastermind, there is in-depth training in discovery sessions versus a health history. And there's also a lot of sales training. There's a lot of advanced, like how to overcome objections, what's really going on for a client. I genuinely wish I could do that on today's call. I can't. Maybe there's another webinar that I could do down the track, but I don't feel I'd be doing you service to just give you little snippets today. Yes, absolutely, Denise, would love to. The UPswing Facebook group that's there now remains open to everybody, by the way. I know that the mastermind isn't for everybody. It's a commitment to yourself, a commitment to your business, and that open. It's a private Facebook group, but the one that's there already. absolutely, and I encourage you all to keep that positive conversation going in there and to nurture that and keep going. That's certainly open for everybody ongoing. Okay. Any other questions at all? And here we've got plenty of time for questions. Anything else at all? You're welcome as well. I know if there's any questions around actually the program itself, you're more likely to want to ask me in person. So amanda@amandajdaily.com. Any celebrations? Is there anybody who wants to share even a small win or anything that's happened in the last couple of weeks, or any celebrations? Let's close up today's call with a celebration tone, because I don't think we do this enough. It's so easy to, even things like launching our new website or getting a first client, it's so easy for it to go unnoticed. Or, I mean, those are big wins, by the way. But, it's so easy for them to go unnoticed, and we work hard, and our friends and family, etc., don't necessarily, do so. So anybody at all like to celebrate? Now, one of my new clients, I don't know if she's on the call today, got her first client yesterday. So I'm celebrating that message overnight. It's very exciting. And another has got a large number of discovery sessions this week, which is, so yeah, I love celebrating. Anyone at all? Doesn't seem like it. Sometimes we have a delay, so I'm happy to, I'll sit here another 30 seconds or so, just check if there's anything else. But if not, like I said, you're all welcome to ask me questions on the Facebook page. You're all welcome to email me, and that's not just about the mastermind. Like about, of course, reach out for anything you'd like support on. Okay, see, there's a delay. I noticed this last week. We got off, and then all the questions came through. How do you work out an elevator speech when first starting out? Really, it comes back to, sorry, I lost my words. It comes back to knowing your target market. Knowing, like when you know your target market and you know your unique program, it's more a matter of communication and being clear on that, I think, than a how to do an elevator speech. Okay. Do I have plans to run another mastermind again soon? Never say never, but no. Right now, the intent is to do this one live. This mastermind that I'm offering right now is absolutely the highest level of support that I will be offering. It's where my focus is for the next 6 months. I can't guarantee that I will do that again after that. I might. Never say never. That's a little far out for me to plan, to be honest. I have made sure that because I'm fully booked one-on-one, that I believe this program is above and beyond the one-on-one experience. Although, of course, there's always a different structure to that. Right now, the plan's not there, is the short answer. I don't know what will come after that. But for the absolute live support like this, if you're interested, I would maybe jump on the phone and talk to me about that timing. What else can you market yourself as, if not health coach, that may resonate with people? You need to always market yourself for the problem that someone's looking for. No one's Googling a health coach. So, people might be Googling digestion issues or stress or weight loss. That's how you market yourself. Legally, I can't give you advice right here. I can't give you legal advice at all, but you market in a way that you resonate with people. Oh, it keeps, sorry, the box keeps jumping again. You market in a way that resonates with people, and then you have your contracts and your discussion also, like very straight up. I'm a health coach, this is my qualification. You get your contracts and your insurance and everything absolutely bang on for what you truly are. And you're just straight up on that. Like, even if you're saying, I'm a digestion coach, blah, 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 as then in your actual info on your site, even it's as a trained health coach. You know, you're very straight up about it, but you don't necessarily have to market. I'm a health coach. I'm a health coach. Okay. Oh, yay, we got a celebration. See, I love them. Do you see how when there's a celebration, it just lifts your energy? It's just like, you know, it's awesome. Someone just shared, you know, even though she's still in school, one of her co-workers asked if she could help her lose weight and eat better. And she said, yes, 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 I can. Of course you can. Fantastic. Yeah. Awesome. Gaining realization of what issues are underlying so you can get working on yourself. Wonderful. I love hearing that. Oh, graduating yesterday. Congratulations, Andrea. Everybody celebrating Andrea there. She graduated yesterday. She's got 2 new clients and has launched a new Facebook page. And working to launch a website. Sounds fantastic, Andrea. Hilda's shared that that she'd like to share that she's really realized what it means in practical terms to say yes to herself. Couldn't move forward and see any results before this deeper knot has come undone, and now she's holding her first workshop. I'm so happy to hear that, Hilda. Thank you, Jess. Thank you. It's been my absolute pleasure to provide this information. It's, you know, I just love sharing with the community in this way. It's absolutely, I'm grateful for all of you. Celebrating finishing a class and now can focus on your business. Fantastic. Same question there. Will I take one-on-one clients next year? I don't know. Why does everyone want to know what's happening next year? I don't plan that far in advance. I don't know is the honest answer. There may be 1 or 2 spots coming up one-on-one still possibly this year. I'm not sure. But I don't know for next year. You know, my husband said to me last night, he said, you'll probably go train as a vet next year. Because I'm not attached to, I don't even know why that came up in conversation, and I'm not going to train as a vet. I'm not particularly focused on animals in any way. I don't know why he said that, but he was trying to say, like, I'm just not attached to this having to be, you know, forever the right thing. I think actually we were talking about whether I would run it again, and I said the same thing to him. I don't know, like, I very much live in the moment. I've created this program because this is what I believe is needed. It's what I've seen from the health coaches who have come through and worked with me. And, you know, this is what I know I'm meant to share with this group now. So the short answer is I don't know next year. I hope I'll keep taking one-on-one clients next year, but I don't know. As opposed to needing to figure out what people are Googling, I would research and get to know your target market so well that you understand them. You know, in the first week, I think it's like pop quiz. What's your target market thinking about right now? And then what are they thinking about in 3 hours? And just get to know them so well that you know what they're searching for. Awesome. Starting to write content. We absolutely are pioneers in this field, and we can set the standard. And this is a mindset that we need to really own and embrace. It's exciting. It really is. I know it's easy to be in this community and feel like, oh, everyone's a health coach, but they're not in the wider world. So this is why it's important to support each other and real creation, not competition. All right. Any more questions? All right, Joe, can you quickly put me a message in the box so I can see how long the delay is and check that we've got everybody? And I'm assuming it seems to be actually quite up to date. So assuming that we are done, email me, I love your questions, or send me Facebook. Feel free to send me a Facebook message, whatever way you have any other questions at all about any of the training series or the Upswing Mastermind, then flick me a message. And yeah, I'd love to connect. I love to know what's going on with everyone. Also, yeah, I was just gonna, mention that I have put the curriculum on the Upswing Mastermind page, and that is totally, there's pieces along the way that will, it will be created for the exact woman in the group, and because I actually trust that the universe brings us in, and there'll be a journey that everyone goes on together. So know that we'll be covering all of those things, and trust that it will also be at the right pace and right time for you. Right. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your thanking and gratitude for these few weeks. I've totally, yeah, so blessed to have been here with you all. And I wish we could keep going, but that's it for this training series. So thank you so much for joining me. Let's keep the conversation going, and I am so very grateful for you all. Keep doing your great work, and let's get health coaching out into the world. Take care.